Alright, so welcome back to Daily Web Coding. In today's video, we're going to learn how to create React custom hooks. So if you have working with React hooks before, you will see this React hooks, this three right here. So use state, use effect, use memo, and so on. And in today's video, we're going to learn to create the custom hooks. So for the custom hook that we're going to create is to create the fetch data hooks. Right, so let's see if we can do that. So this is I'm using VS Code, so you can use any tag that you want. And right now, this is just a boilerplate from React apps. So at the moment, it's just display hello world. As you can see right here. So all right, so right now we're going to create our custom hooks. So to do that, I'm going to create the folder right here called HOC, or you can call this one hooks itself like this as well. And then inside here, we can create a file called usefetchData.js. And for this usefetchData right here, it will fetch whenever our component is running. So it's going to use effects. But we're going to use both use effect and use state to combine this one. So you will see that. So now, inside this use effect, I'm going to use OFC right here. It is a snippet. So I can remove this one. Well, React here, we can remove this one as well. So for this one, it's going to be really simple. So we can just use effects right here. No, not use fetch data. It's use effects. And inside this use effects right here, we're going to fetch the data. So, and then we can pass the URL. First, we can do like the URL of what we want to fetch. Or if you have like a post, you can pass the data as well. So for now, I'm just using pass the URL. So for fetching data, we're gonna fetch from the data, the JSON placeholder right here. So here's some example. So I can just copy this one. And then I'm gonna paste this one right here. So what this will do, it will fetch the this URL. So for that, instead, we can replace this URL right here. So now I'm gonna cut this one. I'm gonna use it later on. I'm gonna paste this one, and then we just fetch this URL. And then we can pass the URL right here. And then after we do .then, this one should be data. So our data, this is the data that we have. And then we can just return the data right here. So now what we need to do next is to create the state of what we want. So first I'm going to create a state called is loading and then set loading. And I'm going to do use state for this one. It's going to be true. The loading is going to be true. So after we have this data, so now we're going to store the data as well. So let's say data and then set data is going to be equal to use state. Let's say for now, we just put an empty. So one thing that we can do here, we can set the data right here with the data. And then we also set the loading to true. Okay. So after that, we can just return this one is loading. Then set data, not set data, the data. So we return both of this one. Perfect. So now, in order to use this one, it's going to be really simple. So now our fetch, our use fetch data is ready. We can use this one in our apps. So we can do use fetch data. So it's going to be use fetch data. And then we're going to pass the URL that we want to fetch. Let's say I'm going to copy this one right here, and then I'm going to pass the URL right here, and then we need to import this one as well. So now it should auto import for me, and the return from this one is going to be the objects. So first it's going to be have a loading and the data. So we're going to do is loading, and then we're going to have a data. So we can check right here if is loading. So we're going to return the h1 loading. Else we're gonna do this. So for now, for L of this one, I can just console.log data. So we go back into our this one right here, and now we can see that if I refresh this one, for now you can see we have the loading, and it's gonna stuck loading forever. So let's see why is that. So right here we set the loading to true. Okay, because it's supposed to be loading to false, right? So right now you can see we have the data as well. So right now you can see we have a real quick loading, and then we're going to do this one. Okay, so and now we can use this loading. We see what the return the title right here. So we can do this, let's say the h1 of this one, data.title. Okay, perfect. So now, as you can see right now, we have this title, which is right here. So I think that's pretty much it for using the create a custom hook. So you can see with this one, we reduce a lot of code in our application, in our components. So imagine you have to write this one all over again in the same, let's say you have 3 different components that fetch from different URLs. So you're going to do this one in the same thing in the component. You check if it's loading, if it's fetch, something like that. So by creating a custom hook like this, it's gonna replace a lot of code. But yeah, so that is a good, that's pretty much it on how to create the custom hooks. And one more thing before we finish this video regarding the data fetchings. So I would recommend using the 2 other library if you're working with the data fetchings. So the first one is going to be React Query. So this one is really nice and a lot really cool things. We have like, you know, query from here, and also they have cachings, a lot of things. So definitely go check it out, and probably in the future I will make the video of this one. And also the next one is going to be use SWR. There's 2 right here is fantastic. Let me know in the comment down below if you want to see me making this video about React Query and SWR. I think for now, that's pretty much it from my side. And I hope you learn how to create a custom hook, and hopefully this is helpful, and see you guys in the next video. Peace.